Hi, this is David Cook. I'm the Program Director for the MA in Leadership. Because the skill of being able to write an academic book review is so important for this program, I wanted to provide for you a brief video that will help explain what these look like, how to do them. This may be your first time of ever doing an academic style book review, and we wanted to show you what that looks like. So let's dive in. You should have been given this by your professor at some point if they are going to have you write a book review. You'll see here at the top that we need a bibliographic entry of the work in APA format. But really sections 2 and 3 are the heart of this document. In section 2, we want you to be able to summarize the contents of the book. What we're looking for here is not so much a play-by-play of every single argument or important concept in the book, but really we want to get the big picture. The best practice in this section is to be able to try to summarize the main thrust of the work in the very first sentence or maybe the first 2 sentences. What we're looking for in this section is really maybe a 1 or 2 paragraph summary of the big ideas from this book that are important, that if you walk away from this book you need to have known these pivotal ideas. Going down a bit, we talk about the critical evaluation of the work, and this is really the most important part of any book review and should be the longest section of the review. Here you're trying to make an argument yourself on whether this book has merit, what are its weaknesses, what are the things that make this book unique, what makes it compelling, or is there something that's novel about this book? We're trying to have you make an argument for why this book should be read by a leader who is in a particular context, maybe ministry, business, government, whatever it may be. You're trying to make an argument for why a person should or should not read this book, and what things are most compelling or are the weak points of the book. So you'll see there some questions to ask yourself, some things to try to get you started in this process. But I thought that what might be helpful is to show you a book review and to try to go through it together to help you see what this looks like in action. So we're going to pull up another document here. This is a review of James MacGregor Burns' book Leadership. This is really a seminal work that you will read at some point, I'm sure, during this program, and this is a review of that. You'll see here that this is actually probably a little bit longer than some of the book reviews that you'll probably be doing in our MAL program, but I think it'll give you a little bit of an idea of what it could look like. So for instance, here you see that there is a summary of the contents. That's really one of our most important sections as we get started in the review. And you'll see that in the very first sentence, the author here tries to explain what Burns is trying to do with the book. So we'll read it here. The main purpose of this book, as Burns explains, is to distinguish leadership from mere brute power and examine the distinction between what he terms transactional leaders and transformational leaders. The rest of this summary of contents is really trying to unpack that idea, but as you can see, the author of this review tried to be able to show you in one sentence what the gist of this book is. The gist is that James MacGregor Burns is trying to make a very new argument about the fact that there are these leaders who merely exist to transact business, so to speak, with their followers. They do things to try to get responses that they want out of their followers. And then on the flip side, there are these transformational leaders who truly try to transform their followers to bring them to new levels of moral heights, to be able to do good for society, to not just be able to have a quid pro quo, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine, but really to work together towards a common good, a societal good. So that's what this book is really about, and that's what this summary of contents is trying to show you. But again, the important thing here is that we do not try to cover every little point in the book. We're trying to give a big picture of what this book is about. Going down here, I wanted to spend some time on the critical evaluation. It's here mostly on the second page. what I wanted to show you here is that we're going to go through several different parts of this evaluation, what it does to try to be able to show that this is a novel work, that it's got strengths, but also that it has weaknesses. It's very important that you look with a critical eye and not just what is good about a book. This is obviously a seminal work that so many people cite and feel is an important work. But every work has its weaknesses as well. So we want you to look with a critical eye at what those weaknesses might be. So for instance, in the first paragraph here, we talk about the fact that it is a seminal work and that it has value and what is groundbreaking about that work. You can see here that whole first paragraph is geared towards what makes it a groundbreaking work. Then we dive into something that most reviewers kind of miss in this work. This author argues that the book's explanation of transactional leadership and its benefits is really a pivotal part of the work that many people miss as they read it, and I would agree with that. And then we dive into the kind of critical evaluation of the book in these last few paragraphs, especially the last paragraph. You can see that it says this work, as groundbreaking as it is, still has its faults. And the author of this review tries to dive into what he feels like are the faults in the work. Now this review has a few statements that it makes where it doesn't really back them up. It doesn't give examples of what they mean in terms of why he loses his readers in the book, and it doesn't give examples of how he does that or why he misses the boat, so to speak. But it gives you an idea that this author was critically looking at the book, that they were trying to figure out, okay, here is why this is groundbreaking, and here's why it's important. But here's also maybe some things that the author could have done to make this work even better. So I hope that gives you an idea of what this book review is all about and what your reviews should look like in some cases. So we want you to again think through not just a description of the contents, but to really critically evaluate what is the best and the worst out of this book that I'm reviewing. Why should I read it? Why should others read it? And how could it be made better? How could it be something that can be improved upon for the future? So I hope that this is helpful for you. Please talk to your professor as you do these book reviews. They can be a wealth of knowledge and information for you, and they can certainly help guide you in this process.